I talked a little bit about mental availability already as a core driver of growth that we know from science. And I know that you're tracking mental availability and category entry points. So how has that changed the way Kettle Fire thinks about performance?
For sure. I mean, I've always been a big fan of how brands go and read that years ago. So I was really excited when I found Quantilope and kind of learned a little bit more even about some of what they talked about in that book. So I would say when we look at mental availability, it really led us to rethink how we measure brand performance. So like I mentioned in the past, we primarily would look at awareness or some of the traditional funnel metrics, like what our conversion rate might be. And we would look at that compared to some of our competitors. But I think what helps us with mental availability is it gives the marketing team and even our sales team and our innovation team more of a perspective of whether or not we're showing up in the right buying situations. So it goes deeper than are people just aware of your brand. It really led us into the category entry points and kind of understanding how our marketing could influence those, but then also really equipped, I would say, our innovation team to look at those and say, okay, here's where we're strong in, here's where we have more innovation opportunities. And then as we look for white space innovation too, here's maybe some category entry points that we could grow in the future. And we could potentially grow the brand if we grow some strength along those category entry points. So I think it resonated really well with our executive team in that it gave us a clear blueprint of how we could grow and how it could actually impact our top line growth rather than just making people more aware of us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think it's still a challenge out there to connect kind of brand health metrics to actually top line performance, right? So, yeah. And any more insights into how the system has helped you to connect the dots between like brand equity and market performance there?
Yeah, for sure. I think for us, like we look at category entry points to kind of understand where we're already strong and how we can like double down in our messaging. And then, like I mentioned, highlight gaps where we're under indexed. So if, for example, our innovation team knows we want to grow in a certain area, but maybe we're under indexing on those category entry points, it's good to be aware of that. I think in the past, we primarily, when it came to innovation, looked at categories and more permission to play and looked at category data to kind of understand growth opportunities. But I think where consumers think or don't think of us in buying situations is really helpful because that helps us understand, you know, where our biggest growth opportunities, and then also just understanding that competitive white space. So it really gave us a picture, not just of our awareness versus our competitors, but for those occasions that our competitors don't own, that's definitely an opportunity for us to own even further. And then for those category entry points that we're strong in, but our competitors aren't, we can lean more into those. So I think it just helps make our marketing a little bit more precise and our innovation a little bit more intentional. So it's definitely been a pretty big unlock for us to have that system, because for us, we now have a clear line of sight between our brand metrics and then the business outcomes. So instead of an abstract score of our awareness versus competitors, we now, I'd say, have actionable levers through category entry points that our marketing team can use, that our innovation team can use, and even our sales team can use.